do a little shake, a little stretching, because we have Jane Fischer in the house.
Hi, happy Monday, everyone. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you a user warning. So for the next 90 minutes, we're going to talk a little, play a little, learn a little, reflect a little, have some good times and some fun. Experience is best with camera on, but if life prevents you from doing that, soaking in the play is also okay. So I'm just going to say dealer's choice because I understand life is what it is at this point in time. You will need pen, paper, the chat function, and then at a specially timed break in which you can refill your beverage of choice or just take a walk around your house, I'll ask you to get another thing. But just for now, make sure you have pen and paper. Pencil and paper is fine too. Marker, crayon, writing utensil of your choice, and something to write on of your choice. I shall not judge. So to get some things started before we go on to anything else, this following little nugget of joy happened to be sitting in my Facebook memories from 5 years ago today. And I thought, hey, message from the universe received. So I'm going to share it out with you. You may have seen this 5 years ago. You may have seen this last night. It's just something to set the tone, a little amuse-bouche, if you will. I'm going to go back and get it all ready to go. And put that back up. Share screen, share sound. And here you go. And there it is. I mean, let's all just think about that for a minute, shall we? So that was sitting in the old Facebook memories, and I thought, great way to set the tone. That was actually 5 years ago on the first day of CPSI, before I drove up to UB, and so those of us who had seen it, that's the motion that we used to sort of move around the halls of CPSI that day. So feel free to take that motion. I just enjoy the heck out of that. So I wanted to share that with you. So welcome to Play Forward. If for those of you that were not scared away by that video and the tone that it set, good for you. You scored a point. So we are going to play forward today, and we are going to, again, we're going to cover a few things. Next slide. We'll get it to there. What we'll cover today, we're going to cover some mindsets that support creativity, including a playful, creative, improvisational mindset and skill set. We're going to talk a little bit about play and how we might incorporate both play and a playful mindset and how we can define that and infuse that into our life and work and play. We're also going to talk about some other things and ideas because I've had a lot of coffee and I'm an ideator, so tangents are my specialty. So again, your tools are a pen and paper, the chat function, and later on, a thing. Turn the page. So, what are your hopes for today? What you hoping to come away with after sitting around here for 90 minutes with us all? What are some things you're hoping for to learn, to do, to feel, to experience? Fun. Fun is a goal. Fun is a perfect goal. When people say things like, oh, it's just for fun. Why? How come you're saying it like that? Why can't you just say it's for fun and then, that's a perfectly lovely and valid goal. So good. Jane Fischer joy. Yes, it is like an almond joy, but nuttier. So let's see. Things to do and play with. Yay. Good. Then I hope we have all of that accomplished. Next slide, please. So, who's this lady talking to you? This is me. This is what I do. Part of my professional life, including for the last 20 some years, and I hate how the number keeps going up. I also, in part of my life, I am and have been a health educator and program administrator in health and human services, peer education advisor and trainer. I'm an adjunct instructor for workforce readiness. I'm also an improv comedy performer. And then what brings me in common with here with CPSI is I'm a creative change facilitator using applied improvisation, creativity workshops, coaching, CPS facilitation, humor and play workshops. So what I like is lots of stuff. I like variety. I like infusing all of these things and with other things. Sometimes I take some health education stuff and I put it those principles that I learned in counseling and I put them together into how I use my coaching. Sometimes I take creativity and I put it into the peer education and advising. So I really like my whole sort of jam is creating connections and smushing things together. I like my mantra is chocolate and peanut butter for a lot of reasons, but for this one, it's just combining things. Next slide, please. So I ask you to consider connections as we go today and some of the things that you learn, feel, experience, see, hear, think about how you might connect some of the things that we're going to do and talk about today into creativity, how you can connect the things of today with an improvisational mindset and skill set, how you might connect resilience or change or a growth mindset, how you might connect collaboration, flexibility, and ambiguity, then playfulness and humor or communication, and also leadership and followership, those kinds of things. How might you extract some things that you learn, feel, experience, see, witness today into those principles and practices and create some new connections for yourself and for others? Next slide, please. Here's a quote that I like because when other people say things, people remember them. So this one is from a slide called the We Engage cards by the We and Me company, PS. You can write that down, We and Me. I have no stake in this. This is just simply a fan speaking. The We and Me people have the We Connect cards and We Engage cards. They're lovely people, but Chad Littlefield has a wonderfully free YouTube channel where he gives lots and lots of playful facilitation tips, tricks, and ideas. So it's We and Me. You can Google that nonsense later. They have a free connections toolkit. What free? There's also other resources you can buy for if you're doing things in person ever again. But you can also find their YouTube is amazing with some of the activities that they do. They're lovely, fun people. And this comes from one of their We Engage decks that I use. To be playful and serious at the same time defines the ideal mental condition. Let's give a holla if you believe that. Holla, whoop, whoop, raise the roof. So that's just a lovely quote, again, to set the tone for what we're hoping to experience today. Next slide, please. So why do I do sessions like this? Because we can practice all of these very linear specific functions and planners and very all the basics and learn how to do things. But if you walked into Staples right now and said, excuse me, and what aisle might I find mindsets to support creativity, collaboration, and connection? They might call security on you, or they might take you to the Post-it wall, which would be half right. But you can't buy this. You can't, there's no set app for feeling more connected. There's no app for being more collaborative. So these kind of sessions like this, where we play some games and really understand what our body, mind, and spirit are feeling and reacting, and wow, this made me feel weird, wonder why, or I like this feeling, what was happening that allowed me to connect more. To have that reflective, immersive experience, it's the only way you can do it. Can't buy it at Staples, can't download an app. And if somebody figures out how to download a Google app for that, share the wealth with a sister. So next slide, please. Let's talk about mindset. We're going to talk about some mindset. So I want to talk a little bit about why this was something that was important for me to talk about. And I'm going to read for you for a second here. First of all, I'm going to close my window so I can see it better. So this is from the book Playful Path, A Playful Path by Bernie DeKoven. And I'm just going to read you a little excerpt that I like, that sort of, again, sets our tone. You don't have to play to be playful. You don't need toys or games or costumes or joke books, but you do have to be open, vulnerable. You do have to let go. Playfulness is all about being vulnerable, responsive, yielding to the moment. You might not be playing, but you are willing to play. At the drop of a hat, the bounce of a ball, the glance of a toddler, the wag of a tail. You are open to any opportunity. You are loose, responsive, present. You have to be present to enjoy the sunrise, to delight in the light of your child's delight, because otherwise you simply aren't there to catch it. It goes by you as if it and you aren't even there. Playfulness means presence, but not just presence. Responsiveness, but not just responsiveness. Presence and responsiveness, lightness and attentiveness, improvisation and creativity, a willingness to let go and become part. There's nothing hard about being playful. The hard thing is to let yourself out to play so that you have that choice. The hard thing is recognizing the opportunity. The brave thing is accepting the invitation. Kids play because they have to. It's how they learn the world, how they grow, how they cope. For kids, play is life. For grown-ups, play is a return to life. For grown-ups, play is ultimately and essentially a spiritual experience, a renewal. This is what play brings us, and this is what we bring to play. So that, again, is from A Playful Path by Bernie DeKoven. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. You can buy that. There's some digital versions you can download too. So that's just a nice little excerpt about the great value of play and why we should all infuse that a bit more. So what I thought I would do for 90 minutes is offer up a critique of theory and scholarly references about play and humor and improv, if that's okay with everybody. Or maybe we won't do that. What I want to do is really talk about, have you talk about an experience and sort of self-narrate what we're going to be doing. I learn best from experiencing, reflecting, and immersing and from going off on tangents. So for the next 90 minutes, we're going to be exploring, playing with others, and creating, and encouraging, and supporting, and sustaining an environment of playfulness or a playful mindset. And we're going to explore your own play place towards the end part of it. So this session is called Play Forward, which is a play on words of the stage. Sometimes the term play forward might be used on the stage, asking the actors or the characters to move to the front of the stage, to be present and to face the audience a bit more, to be right in the center of the action. This puts yourself at a bold focus. There's that sense of vulnerability. It was talked about in that Playful Path excerpt. There's a vulnerability in play. So you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be visible when you're playing forward. And that can be either powerful or it can be intimidating or maybe a strange little mix of both. So the metaphor, because I love my metaphors, when the stage is our work, our life, our mission, our purpose, a task, anything, any ground on which we stand, And if we are the actor, if we're that character that's on that stage, and our boss, our team, our colleagues, our customers, our family, our friends, the world is the audience, when we are playing forward, we're facing them more. We're bringing more of ourselves forward. The lines that we speak are our ideas, our plans, our goals, our wishes, and our words. And all the world is indeed a stage. So I'm going to stop the talking for a second, and we're going to play one little, we're not going to do that yet. So a quick little note here. We're going to get into this in the later part, but one of the things I want you to think about is the mindset regarding play and playfulness. Oftentimes we think of work and play as opposites, right? That, stop playing around, be more serious, don't have fun. Work is supposed to be fun. This sort of puritanical, sort of finding glory in the suffering, right? That if you're having fun at something, you're not working hard enough. And I find that to be tomfoolery. So think about that, about ways that you have defined or been taught to define the role of play and work together. Are they opposites? Are they complements? Think about how you have, now we're not saying that this sort of element of playfulness and surprise, if you're having brain surgery, perhaps the surgical staff ought not be playing freeze tag at the moment. So there's appropriate ways to play and have playfulness. But hopefully, if that surgeon were to run into difficulty, a playful mindset of what else do I know? What else might I do? That's the playful that touches on creativity and creative responsive thinking. So a playful approach can mean many things. When I also talk playful, I'm also making sure that we're talking respectful play. I am not a fan of even in the improv that I do, or any comedy, I'm not a fan of punching down. I like respectful humor, respectful play. I don't think it's particularly super playful. Like if somebody, even here, if Beth was going to be very playful because she's Beth, and do things like, I'm going to turn her mute on and off, and because it's playful, and haha, look how funny I am, that becomes a disrespectful kind of play. And so, because nobody's learning anything, it's not helping the learning, it's not setting an environment, it's a playfulness that can touch on disrespect. But play that supports the goal, the task, or the group is a good kind of play. So that's what we're talking about. I want to make sure that we understand what we're speaking about. I think hey, what?
There's a question from Chris Can.
It may not be work versus play, but what about play versus deadlines or play versus objectives? How do you help address concerns people would have about that potential dichotomy? That's a very, very good point, and that's often when we hear it. So play versus deadlines. Okay, task one with your paper. Everybody get your paper and your writing utensil. And you're going to be writing, don't take up all your paper space with this. Leave some for the main assignment. Go ahead and just write your first name. Just write your first name. Okay, good for you. Did everybody achieve your task? Yes? Good? Okay. Now, you're going to write your name, but this time, you're going to be either talking to yourself in a silly voice or doing a wiggle waggle or making a do something silly and ridiculous. If you're in a close place with a lot of people, fine, it's okay. Just add some silliness to it, or maybe write it in backwards or in bigger letters. Just add some silly to writing your name. Sing to yourself, announce every letter as you say it. Write it big, with flourish. Come at it hard. All right, did everybody write their name? Was there anybody who could not achieve that task because they were too busy playing? So, it's the degree in which play is infused. You can still meet deadlines. Here's another example. For those of you with small people living in your house or who lived in your house, and by that I mean your children. I'm not gonna, if you have, the 7 dwarves or garden gnomes that come to life, I want to hear about it, but now's not the time. If you have children or have had children or have ever met children or have ever been a child, was there ever at a point where perhaps the playroom area was dirty? Toys were devil may care and askew and other big words. How many of you are familiar with the concept of we're going to turn this cleaning up the toys into a game? Right? Yes? Were the toys cleaned up? So the task can be accomplished by infusing play. So it's not an either or, it's a yes and. It's a both and. So you can still meet deadlines and you can still hit all of those tasks. Again, within reason. There's appropriate places. Again, I don't want my airline pilot going, what does this do? So there's ways that you can infuse play that still help you accomplish the task, support the creative environment, support your team, that doesn't disrespect the deadline, doesn't disrespect the task. It simply is a different way of getting there. You're still on the path. Your knapsack is just a different color. Or you might be pulling down apples from the trees as you go. You're still on the path. So it doesn't dissuade you from the task. It's just a different way to get there. Of course, every situation is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to depend on the mindset of your team and your superiors, etc. But yeah, so hopefully that was kind of an answer for you, Chris. So it's just different ways to infuse the path to get there. So good. So we are going to, since you have your pen and paper handy, congratulate yourself on writing your name because that was good. Now you're going to put the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3. You're going to make a list of 3 things. It's very exciting. So excited for what the list is going to say. On your list, number 1, you're just going to put a noun, any noun. For example, I might say dry erase marker. But your noun can be anything. Maybe don't make it a proper noun. Maybe don't make it like Oprah, but make it like talk show host. Or don't make it like Wegmans, make it like a grocery store. So just a noun. It could be anything. Person, place, thing. That's on your number 1 line. Number 2, I want you to talk a little bit about, use a couple words to say what it does. Why does it exist? How come? So what I might say is very literal. I might say to write on boards, or I might say to communicate messages. So really, what's it do? What's it for? Don't talk about anything about what it looks like, sounds like, smells like, feels like. Just how come? What's it do? What's it used for primarily? And again, you can be very specific in terms of write on a dry erase board, or loftier of communicate messages, whatever you feel like. On number 3, you will now write a few words. I will say 3 to 4 words about how you might describe it through the senses. What it looks like, sounds like, feels like, tastes like, sounds like. Did I get all the 5? So I might say it's blue and white. It has a removable cap. No discernible smell. Pocket size. Just a couple little descriptors of what anything about this, what it looks like, sounds like, smells like, tastes like, feels like. Something. Okay, so now you have a 1, a 2, and a 3. You are going to be assigned into breakout rooms with 3 or 4 people. For those of you with 3 people, this is what's going to happen. You are going to assign who in your group of 3 is person 1, person 2, and person 3. You can do that by one of the following: alphabetical order of last name or birth date. Something pretty easy to just decide who's 1, who's 2, who's 3. Or you can just say, I love the number 2. Please make me the number 2. Whatever it is. Then number 1, if you have 4 people in your group, number 4 becomes a number 2. Just remember that, because it's divisible by 2. It's easier to remember. So when you get there, number 1 is going to say, my noun is dry erase marker. Number 2 is going to say, the functions that I wrote down for my object are blah, 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 whatever that you wrote down for whatever your object was. Person number 3 is going to say, the descriptive terms I wrote down for my noun are blah, 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 blah. So you are going to create, and if you have 4 people, the 4th person is going to use their functions, their number 2. You are going to create a shiny new thing, a brand new product that combines one person's noun, 1, maybe 2 people's function, and 1 person's descriptors. Is there anybody who's unclear about the task at hand? One person's offering their noun, one person is offering their function, one person is offering their descriptor. Maybe two people are offering their function because it's a new improved item that not only does it do this, but it also does this. It's a knife, but it's also a Sharpie. So those are the things that you're going to be doing. But wait, there's more. Not only are you going, because you're CPSI people, so I expect more of you. You hear me? I expect more of you. So what you're going to do is not only combine to make that shiny new thing, but you are going to create a pitch for it. Perhaps one of you might have drawing skills and might draw a sketch of it. Perhaps one of you might prototype it right there on the desk. Perhaps one of you just wants to tell the story of it through the wonderful power of words, whatever that is. But you are going to give us a mini, like under 30-second pitch for your shiny new thing. Here's also because I trust you at CPSI. Sometimes through the power of just life, one person might have written about a dog and another person might have written about a cow. So they're a dog and then like big and brown. Okay, now that's kind of easy. So stretch yourself. Think about ways to move away from the obvious and think about what else might I have written about a cow? Lives in a field. Its milk might be used for dairy. So think about ways to not just, if your things sort of work together seamlessly, push yourself to make them not, and really sort of stretch it and play with it a bit. Any questions, last minute questions before you are sent into the ether of the breakout rooms? All right, have fun, play nice, don't make me come up there. If everybody plays nice, we will stop for ice cream after this. So, bye, make shiny things. So, we're gonna hear your pitch about your product that you created. What you're gonna do is you're going to tell us the noun that you started with, the function that you started with, or functions, and the description. You're gonna give us the raw materials and then delight us with what you came up with. So, who's going first on CPSI Shark Tank? Either raise your hand or unmute yourself. Kelsey, I see you.
I can kick us off. All right, so our noun was honey. And then our functions, we had two. So it was see yourself better and skim above the water when pulled by a force. And the descriptor is hard and crunchy until it meets boiling water.
Wow. All right. Let's hear it.
So, introducing honey to relive your sweetest memories. Don a pair of hard, crunchy lollipop skis pulled by the force of happiness. And as you look down onto the water that you're coasting on, you see your happiest memories, which happiness is also the force that's pulling you along. And so it's almost like eco-friendliness. The happiness is circling there. And then that makes you even happier. And when you're done for the day, you put your lollipop skis in boiling water. And so then it smushes down and you could easily transport it until you reform them once again.
Well done. I enjoyed that a lot. Those were very difficult things to connect, so I was impressed. Well done. Ooh. Who's next? That was great. Wait, who else was on your team so we can also high five them?
Yes, my team we had Lisa Strick, we had Renee, we had, I'm like looking around for everybody's faces, and Deb.
High five to all of you. Well done. All right, next group up. Who wants to demonstrate their product? Taylor, I see you.
Hi, everybody. So our noun was a book. Our function was holding wine in a fancy way and distracting kids. And our descriptors were pink glass and plush. And so we created a book called Family Senses. I'm going to pass it over to Mary Ellen.
So imagine, if you will, a book where the cover is a sensory experience. And so you touch it, you feel it, you can taste it even. And then as you open the book, you have different experiences, not only for the kids, but also for the parents. A noise goes off, you turn the page, and a pink glass comes up with wine for the parents. And another glass comes up with a Shirley Temple for the kids. And so your senses are totally tintillated as you go page by page. And now I'm going to turn it over to Yardina to tell us about the last page of the book.
Yes, because in order to turn each page, you need to solve the riddle. Because what you want to do is get to the end of the book where you have a secret compartment with a secret prize for the entire family. But nobody's going to know what it is until you get there. And the parents might not care because there are a lot of noise that are going to go off for the drinking game on the side. That's our parts.
Well done. High fives all around. Good stuff. Anyone else? What other groups? Judy?
We were Marcia and the Judys. And if this doesn't work, we're going to become a girl group.
All right.
Singing band. But we think it will because our raw material was a bubble, foot enemy, different colors, white, blue, and black, tingly, and mentholated. So obviously, we came up with a revolutionary way to treat ailments and medical conditions. Essentially, you suds up your toes. So it's one of the other things was pocket size. So in the sort of tradition of soaking your feet, there is a pocket size toe soaker. And it's tingly and they come in different colors. It can be mentholated, but depending on the nature of your condition, you get a different type of suds medication. And through the magic of acupressure, and since a different part of your body is connected to a different part of your toe, the sudsing will make you feel well. So it's colleagues, you had some additional benefits. Medicinal bubbles. Yeah. Oh, I guess we're not here. Yeah. The idea was no more pills or far, far fewer pills.
Well done. Reflexology coming in the house here. Well done. I enjoy saving the world one Zoom-based activity at a time. Fantastic. Got time for one more. Anyone else for their Shark Tank debut? Mark Engel.
All right. Very good. Thank you. We actually have a photo to go along with this that Nick has. We shared it in the file. Let's see. I haven't even seen this. This is magic happening as we speak. I can't open it fast enough. This is very exciting, but I gotta see what this is. Where does this go? Click to open. Okay. Preview.
You should just download it, I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Riddle me this. All right. So this, cats get catnip. This is bird nip. And sorry, our words were, we had window, make mischief, and sweet, colorful, and bite size. So we have catnip for birds, bird nip. And what this is, it operates kind of like a Pez dispenser. It dispenses these sweet and colorful candies, psychedelics really for birds, and they can go crazy. It gives them the power to take revenge on cats because it makes them look like giant dogs to cats. And that's the special thing about this product.
Wow.
And this team also include Adriana Correa and Nick with the drawing. And this is a labor of love. And I think we just registered the business in the last 2 minutes. So we're ready to go.
Of course you did. Well done. High fives all around. Very, very good. So what were some of your experiences, or what helped you when you're working on this together? What were some of the mindsets, skill sets that you brought to the table in order to make this happen? You can just pop up and pop in. Mary Ellen.
Celebratory, because it's actually Taylor's birthday today. And so that set the stage for our group.
Wow.
So we had to have a drinking component to our book.
Fantastic. Happy birthday! Beth, should we sing the birthday song?
Yes.
Ready?
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
All right. So anyway, that's a happy birthday. So yes, so celebratory. Bringing something celebratory, whether it's your birthday or not, to simply find that spirit of yes and. These are all principles you're familiar with in terms of the divergent thinking principles, even perhaps you're not familiar with them yet and you're saying, what's that? It's really just deferring judgment and celebrating the possibility of everything, not the acceptance of everything, but the possibility of everything. Every answer brought to the table has the possibility to become something. So yes, celebratory. It's good, 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 good. What else were you thinking or doing that helped you as you move forward with this?
We had a comment, not being judgmental and going with the flow.
Yes, indeed. That's the playful mindset. Any other thoughts or responses or things? Yeah. Lindsay.
It was also really fun to pull in everybody, because it was neat to see how we kind of processed adding things a little differently, and to make sure there was space for everyone and add the different ideas. It was neat to build that together.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's definitely a yes and a collaborative. This is a way to practice collaboration. Here's your app. This is how you can sort of practice it in a safe space. What we did here, we're not literally planning to go market it with the exception of Mark's group, but these are just things that are a safe way to practice these things. Did anybody stop to think, well, that's not very realistic and the laws of physics, time, space, and money aren't going to apply? Did anybody stop and really think about that for a second while you were playing for those 7 minutes, that you were really concerned that this wasn't going to, I mean, the crunchy honey skis, I mean, that happens through the power of imagination and through the power of play. You didn't stop to think about the viscosity of honey as a ski, right? Nobody looked that up. So this really was, everything was possible. And this sort of playful mindset, even though nobody was running around jumping, playing tag and things like that, this is still a playful mindset. It harkens back to the days of the floor is lava. Because if you said the floor was lava, it was, and everybody just accepted it. And that tree's a rocket ship. So things became those things. We took our mindset into a sense of communal, collective agreement of yes, even though the floor is not lava, and if it was, I want to hear about that too. If your tree is really a rocket ship, also same thing, but odds are the floor was never really lava, the tree was never really a rocket ship. You all just agreed that that was going to be the case for those moment in time, and you collectively played in that new shared reality. That is a playful mindset, and can anybody see any ways that might help in your work around creativity? So yes, this is a fun game to play. I do need to give credit to its originator, his gentleman named Jason Theodore with no E at the end, out of Canada. I found this several years ago while reading some of his work, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite activities to do. It takes a little while, but I love it so much. And you can play with it. You can add little nuances to it if you want to add. There's sometimes some people have added maybe a number 4. So you have the noun, the function, the description. They might add on a who's the target audience, and maybe that becomes one of the things. So you can play with this. And it just is a way to get people collaborating and playing with the spirit of yes and let's imagine. And also the playful spirit of put the pitch together. And so you have to perform now in front of people too. Really pushes some people. Beth, I see a hand up.
Yeah, I think we missed one group.
Oh, did we? Who's going?
I think Brian's group.
Oh, yeah, sure. So we put it in the chat just real quick, 30 seconds. The noun that we had was kitten. And then we had keeps rejected ideas off the floor. We had the sound of TikTok, and then we had a 4th, which was keep me warm in winter. So the thought was, you know how you have a timekeeper in your sessions, or someone who's a scribe. So this is a kitten costume kit that someone could wear in your sessions, and can swat away the ideas off the floor. No, keep them. And they come around and they give you like hugs and keep you warm and say, hey, this is great, keep going. And they purr when you've got a really great idea, but they put on the ears and they have a little tail. And so it's just ridiculousness. But that was our team.
That's fantastic.
There was one more team. Beth was going to go.
All right, let's have all the teams. All right, who's next? I like that, and I also want one of those. I could definitely use a little.
Emma, I think.
Go for it.
All right, I can hop right on in, and then I'll turn it over. I think there's one more team besides us that I'll turn it over to. So I'll just hold this up. So do you ever get confused about Formula One racing? Do you love snacks? Meet your new companion. This robotic companion guide carries everything you need to know about Formula One, responds to your love and affection with noisy purrs, and keeps snacks handy for you on racing day. Now you can own the industry-leading Formula One guide for the low price of 4 installments of $100,000. Oh, and our we were book. Oh gosh, team, could you book? Unconscious snacking companion to be loved in shiny, noisy, fast.
Love it. And what a bargain price.
Right?
That's just pocket change. Well done. And I like the drawing. Good job.
Fantastic. And Leo's group hasn't gone yet.
Yes.
Leo,
hello.
Oh,
okay.
He's on TV.
I am on TV. Okay, so our item was tape measure. What is my words? Holds and contains things. It's soft, multiple colors, furry with teeth, and it's a companion. So introducing your tape measurer, the handyman's best friend. We know that the handyman gets a little bit solid, a little bit lonely at times when they're working by themselves. So the tape measure becomes your companion. It can hold things you need, like music, because you want to listen to music. Isn't it boring to work without in silence? Terrible. You need a space to hold your earphones. It's also soft because nobody likes when you drop your tape measure and it thunks onto the ground and makes cracks. Nobody wants that. So it's soft and furry. So it's very nice. In case you need to drop it, it's okay. And it also has teeth because it's aggressive, so when the tape measure goes back into its little container, its teeth shuts it closed so it doesn't come back. And it's also multiple colors because we like colors. Thank you very much.
Wow. I enjoy that too. I'm scared of the teeth part, but I like that because anybody here snap the tape measure comes back flying at you a little bit too often and it hits you right in the nail bed.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
So I'm buying because this will be soft, and I'm like, aha! It just is a furry soft thing that just hit my nail bed. And
but if it has teeth, it can hold on to the end of what you want to measure instead of like falling off all the time.
That's true.
Yes, and that, Renee.
See, we're all entrepreneurs at heart here, aren't we? Well done. These are all such great things. Is there anybody who hasn't gone? Have we hit?
Our group, so our words were clown, evolution, and makes happiness, and metallic, silver color, handheld, and shiny. And so we created a clown meditation ball that also makes sound, and the pitch changes as you since it would also bounce. Like if you throw it and as it hits the wall would kind of make different sounds. And then we leaned full into the clown happy to creepy range, which is that kind of like the old mood rings that would change color as you would hold something, that the clown faces would change. Not too scary, not too freaky, but just enough to be like reflect your mood a little bit, but also help shift your mood back toward making happiness and your personal evolution with our meditation clown themed meditation balls.
Love. I enjoy the acknowledgement of the dancing on the tiptoeing of the line of creepy and I enjoy that because truth. Yes, Nicole.
Unfortunately, our group didn't go, so I'll step in if that's okay for our group. Okay, so we came up with a dog, and to enhance the education and the entertainment. So, and it's black and white patches, smooth, quiet, and fast. So a dog could drive a car. That the engine is so quiet, and it's super fast, like a race car driving so fast. So a dog is also a companion, not full of ideas. Oh, and carrying on with conversations. Because it's really good at listening.
Where can one pick up this dog?
That depends.
I love it. Oh, these are so Amazon. Yes, because that's the answer to everything, isn't it? Well done. Thank you for that. That's fantastic. I enjoy it. All good stuff. So many great inventions. Hey, speaking of inventions, I'm going to cut this time down. I was going to give you a smidge of a break. I'm going to cut it down to 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to, again, refresh a beverage, bio break. If it takes longer than 2 minutes, it's okay. We're not going anywhere. But otherwise, I also want you to find a thing. Again, can be anything. Don't like bring your sofa into the room or anything like that, but something that's easily transportable. If you want to go out and bring a kitchen spoon back, that's great. If you have a stapler sitting next to you, that's fantastic. If you have a top hat that you want to show off because you just haven't had a chance to wear it in the last year, bring that. Just something. Just bring something. No judgment zone. Bring it back to the Zoom room. Don't show it to anybody. You just have it safely over there supporting you from the side. We're going to play with it in a little bit, so make sure it's something that people can see. Again, no judgment, but just warnings. So go grab a beverage, bio break, and find a thing and come back in 2 minutes. It's 4:56 on my clock, 4:58, and come back. So 2 minutes to grab a thing and whatever else you need. All right. So, Beth, I'm going to have you capture some of these just by keeping track of them. In the chat, go ahead and write down just, let's not make it too real and somber. I mean, if I ask you about what are some problems facing the world, we know like the top 20, okay? So think about some that maybe aren't a problem, but like, gum isn't chewy enough, whatever it might be. So think about some problems in the world or in your life that really aren't problems. They're just sort of problems or challenges. There's no more coffee. I know, don't even joke about it. The towels aren't too scratchy, whatever it might be. Problems that aren't really serious problems, but minor annoyances. Hangnails on the finger of life. All right. So Beth, you are going to be you're going to find a couple of those problems. And what we are going to do, and if you don't want to play, I'm going to ask you this. If you don't want to play this, if you don't want to use your thing, you have Captain's permission to recline your seat and turn your camera off. So if your camera's on, you're fair game. Power. So what's going to happen is Beth's going to choose a challenge, and then I'm going to bring in a squad of problem solvers, and your thing is going to be used to help solve that problem. All right. So we'll have there'll be 3 problem solvers per problem. So Beth, for example, I'll go first to show the example. So Beth, what's the first problem we have to solve?
There is not enough vacation time for everyone.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to use this handy dandy strainer here. So what you're going to do is there's not enough vacation time. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put the vacation time that you do have into this, and it's going to strain out and fall into many different small particles. So you may not get a full day, but now you can get a half day. So now if you squish, this is a human resources strainer, so it squishes benefits, and so you can pull out little bits of vacation time so they're bite-sized and easy to swallow. So it makes more of them. That's the first way you're going to solve the problem. But I know that Judy Bernstein also has something that can be used to help solve the problem, not enough vacation time. So there we go, Judy.
Yes, I have this makeup base provider, And when you don't get enough vacation time, you look haggard and you get wrinkles and your skin becomes blotchy. So, to help with that problem that flows from not enough vacation time, while you're waiting for your vacation, you can use this to help with the after effects, to help with the effects of not having had enough vacation.
Smart and helpful. And Judy, who else is on our problem solving team?
I believe Brian Cleaner.
What you got, Brian?
So I have this this little playful sort of bendy toy, which is great because when you don't have enough time, of course you could bend it, bend it to your will and make it what you want, right? Or spiral it up, or or just crumple it up and be like, what, this is the amount of time that I'm going to be using on my on work, and this is the amount of time I'm going to be using on vacation.
That's it. So problem solved, Beth. May we have a new problem, please?
Being unable to pet enough doggies.
Oh, okay.
We need more pettings of the doggies.
More dog pettings. Okay, so I know that Fern has a solution to this. Fern, will you please share your solution?
All right. So I have this gargoyle here. It's a gargoyle and it's a candle holder. And and he's thinking. And this gargoyle kind of looks like a dog. He's a dog or a monkey, but anyway, he looks like a pet. And so you can multiply these things because and he's got wings, you see, so he can fly. So he can go and see people and go from one person to another, so he can take turns being petted.
That's fantastic. Fern, who else is on our problem solving squad?
I can see Chris Kahn.
Chris Kahn, solve the problem.
Well, I too would like to pet more dogs. And I think the key thing is that people don't know that you want to pet more dogs. And I think if people knew that you wanted to pet more dogs, then they would make those dogs available to you. So I have this shaky, I don't know if you can see, it's got little glitter in it and it's a little light. And right now the light is burned out, but I can replace the battery. And I think I'm going to develop a program in my neighborhood because people walk with their dogs. And I think I'm going to develop a thing in the neighborhood where I'll let them know that I'm going to put this in the front window. And on those days when this is in the front window, when they see that lit, they know that it's a great time to come and bring your pet over to, or stop while you're on your walk in the neighborhood and bring them over, because I'll have treats for the dogs, and I will have treats and potentially alcohol for the adults as well. So okay. I think it's a light your window to pet a dog plan.
That's pretty amazing. I like note to self on that. And Chris, who's the final member of your problem solving squad?
I think that Lindsay Burr is going to have some great ideas for us.
Let's hear it, Lindsay.
Yours was so good, Chris. I was like, nope, that problem has been solved. So I was like, we have to go to the next one. So, okay. I am so excited to be part of this team because not only do we have the gargoyle plan and the light in the window plan, we also have a shiny maple leaf plan that if you are a little bit squeamish about petting dogs, because sometimes you want to pet dogs but you're not quite sure if they're safe, you can actually just hold this up. They can sniff this instead of your hand and you can kind of pet them. So if you're not quite sure yet about petting dogs but you want to pet dogs, it's kind of that nice intermediary, so the dog will be happy. I know my dog loves this, so I can just scratch him a little bit, and yeah, it can help with de-shedding. Also helps for people who are allergic, because you don't have to worry about them touching your face, right? In the COVID times, we're trying to cut down on face touching anyway, so you can pet the dog and then set it down, and dishwasher safe, obviously. Dishwasher safe, key.
That's the good idea police coming by you, by the way.
Yes,
so
that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Wonderful. Fantastic. Problem solved. We're on a roll, Beth. What you got next?
you want to have popcorn, but figuring out how, like, the microwave popcorn, that it varies with bags and brands, and is your microwave for this long, and does this bag, so getting all of the kernels popped in your microwave bag without burning your popcorn.
All right, perfect popcorn. This, of course, I mean, Mark Engel, I mean, this is cliche for you, really.
Yeah, well, this is something I've been thinking about quite a bit in my years of popcorn navigation. I have, it's a device here. I don't know if you can see. There are so many different ways I can approach this. It's like a Swiss Army knife, but it's from Calgary, so it's a Canadian Army knife. And this allows it's metal that you can actually, sorry, let me get rid of this background because this is really distracting. It's metal that you can actually put into the microwave. These little pieces, these little not dongles, I don't know, ports, things for the ports, little connectors that you can put in, and they're different kinds. So this one, I believe, is really good for brands like Orville Redenbacher, anything with old men on the bag. This one is good for like organic popcorn. I'm sorry, no, this one is the one that's good for organic popcorn, just because it's very thin, and this is made from natural materials that go undetected by their microwave. So you can tell. And then the thing that I actually thought was so dumb, because I've used this 1,000 times. This little thing on the top is really what you do to make sure you've got all the kernels that are in there. And there is something in there. If you press, there's a little, you can set different levels, but you can press it and in like 1 second, or if you want to make a loud boom, you press it all the way up, and in 3 seconds, it makes this gigantic boom, but all the kernels are popped. Nothing ever goes to waste. And that's the beautiful thing about a Canadian Army knife.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Now, who's the second tool in your Canadian problem-solving Army knife team?
Well, I understand that Mary Ellen Vixta has some great thoughts on this.
Always.
And, I think you're going to be impressed with what she has.
Mary Ellen. Perfect popcorn, Mary Ellen.
So I'm going to share my special Paddington bear. And this special bear has the ability to sense what kernels are not being popped properly and will send out special rays in order for those to catch up with the rest of the popcorn. So that's how that would be solved.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to, the next person is Cheryl, my buddy.
Cheryl.
So if all else fails, if the tool for some reason doesn't work, we have a specially calibrated stretch band, and you pop the popcorn and then you flip this around, and if it's not popped perfectly, this will let you repop it so everything is popped. It has special sensors in it, and it just makes sure that, you know, the whole bag and every kernel is popped.
Well done. Popcorn for everyone. Perfect every time. Brian, what was the you just wrote, the alliteration wonder that you just wrote?
Well, I just thought it'd be called the perfect Paddington popcorn proper popper. You know, it was really something just, you know, you had said, Mary Ellen, and I just wanted to capture it, really.
I just had to hear that out loud. I enjoyed that. I want to hear the sounds of that. That's amazing. Well done. Beth, sup with the problems?
Oh my gosh. So you've got your popcorn, but you've put it in your bowl, and then the bowl is dirty. Like, dishes keep getting dirty. No matter, like, they're dirty after you use them, and we need that to not be a thing.
So we need easy ways to clean dishes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Kelsey, word on the street, and by street I mean this room, is that you have this down solid.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm a historian of dirty dishes. And as we know, they originated back in Viking times, which is why it's so important that you have the rock hard abs of a Viking in your kitchen who can help you deeply understand je ne sais quoi behind dirty dishes, to understand where did that dirt come from? Where did it travel in time? Because you can't get rid of something you don't deeply understand. And to go through, this is also just a very user-focused experience. So once we first identify the dirt's origin, I'm going to pass it over to my other UX buddy, Nick, who's going to take us on this journey.
Right. So believe it or not, recent studies have shown that dirty dishes is actually not something caused by us. Dirty dishes is always something that was coming, that has been sweeping through us without us even really noticing it, right? So what I have for you is an alarm for dirty dishes, and it's solar powered. So you can leave it outside. It doesn't have to be batteries, it doesn't have to be plugged in or anything. And when the dirty dishes are coming for you, it starts dancing, and it's delightful. It's a wonderful dance. So, you know, you at least have a little bit of fun before you can escape the dirty dishes before they get to you. So that's, you know, one option. But I think my friend Judy here may have another solution for you.
Judy Bernstein or the other Judy?
Yes, Judy Bernstein. I was looking at you. Sorry, I didn't realize there were multiple Judys.
Okay. And this was
all the Judys.
dishwasher problem,
Judy's
right?
already gone. Judy's already worn out her problem.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We're getting to that
I
point.
have one though.
Do it.
The other Judy has one.
Oh, here we come.
Judy
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah. So my game plan is to put my mask on, go steal the dog light, and then have the dogs come over to my house and lick all the dirty dishes clean.
Well done. Wow. So worth it. Let's all just take a second and bask in that, shall we? All right. That's good. All right, Beth, we still have problems. What you got?
This has been lighthearted, and I have enjoyed that as much as the next person, but this is a serious, deep problem now.
Okay.
Toe stubbing. Furniture just jumps out in front and automatically like toe stubbing.
Oh, the toe stubbing.
Yeah, we need toe stubbing to not be the true tragedy of CPSI 21.
So we're trying to solve the problem. So more toe safety, toe
safety. Thank you. Yeah.
Safety. All right. Well, let's see. The Nicole, I think didn't you win the Nobel Prize in safety for feet, Nicole?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. So what do you have your thing there that's going to help prevent?
Yes, I do. I have this object, a big test, obviously, and this is a queen. She can travel in any direction, anywhere she wants. But she has to think, will she like to success her own life? Or partner. And to protect the toes is to to me, if you imagine you have a queen in your hand, then she has a magical wand that she can actually heal a person.
So if we believe that we're not gonna.
If she has a healing hand, touch the toes, said, okay, you're all healed.
Perfect. Now, if the queen is not available to protect all the toes, who else on your team has something to solve that? Do you have someone else?
Rena, I don't know what you have, but I hope it's really good. Please solve this.
Yardina? Is that what you called?
Rena.
Oh, Rena. Okay. Where are we going?
It's
Renee. Is it me?
Renee.
Yeah, Renee.
Oh, well, I am so glad you called on me because I have I have help for this. If the queen is otherwise occupied, what you do is you insert this lobster in your toes, in between your toes, so that the lobster can seek out anything that might stub your toes, and in advance, in a way that can prohibit any toe stubbing from occurring, can grasp onto that item and alert you to the fact that you were just about to stub your toe and the lobster has saved you. So the lobster and the queen are great companions.
All right. So now, in the interest of time, we have one more. For those of you who things will not save the world, know that your things are saving the world in ways that we can not yet comprehend. So we still acknowledge the world-saving powers of your things, but for the sake of time, you're going to choose the last problem solver for the toe stubbing. So who's the last one up?
I think that might be Deborah Williams.
Okay.
Deborah, what have you got for us?
I have an early warning system. Not only does this little guy follow you around and be your friend and let you know when danger is coming, but he is so brave. He throws himself between you and whatever you might end up stubbing your toe up on. And he eats very little. He needs very little. He just wants to be, with you. So, early warning pig system.
Love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your world-saving suggestions and ideas. Just wonderful. Again, for those of you who did not share your thing, we know that it's out there saving us silently. For that, we thank you. So, talked a little bit about play and what it is and what it isn't. We've experimented with some things in terms of play. For those of you, for this one, this might have been a little scary. Comfort zone stretching, because you had about a nanosecond to prepare, right? So let's talk about the thoughts and feelings that were happening in your brain and body with this activity, because you would think, well, hey, we're Sipsy, we're used to this. But even Sipsiers get gator brain sometimes, especially when they're out of a creative comfort zone. So just because we still haven't figured out the word for what it is when somebody attends Sipsy, but we'll get there. Even Sipsiers have challenges. We know this, that some folks are feeling discomfort with performing or being the center of attention. Some are more comfortable with divergence than convergence. So we know that on a number of things, we still will get gator brain, or I can't play, I don't play, I'm corporate. So whatever that might be, we know that we can still get that little bit of gator brain. Next slide, please. So when you are stuck in that moment of, this is scary, this is awkward, I'm going to feel silly, I'm going to feel ridiculous, I'm going to make a fool of myself, good. Then that's okay. Favorite quote by Amy Poehler is, there's power in looking silly and not caring that you do. And the other thing that I like is when you get these feelings of the awkwardness, or this isn't my zone, this isn't my jam, I feel a little weird, not sure if play and work should go together, not sure if I should offer this up. It's not the absence of negative emotions that determine whether you're flourishing or not. It's how you deal with them that matters. So find that discomfort. Think about it. Ask why it's there. Ask what it's doing there, because you didn't invite it. You didn't put up the dog candle window of resilience in your window. No, you did not ask that feeling to come there. So think about why you're feeling that way, why you're feeling a little bit nervous or resistant to the idea of being a bit more playful, or why you're feeling a little bit unsure of yourself in that moment and lost that creative confidence. How you deal with it, that's the next step. That's the good thing. Next slide, please. So we're going to talk about some play thing. I'm going to, if you could throw, Beth, the play personalities into or somebody could throw the play personalities PDF into the chat. I'm going to do a share screen, and we're going to talk a little bit about this next. Share. Where are you? Hold on. I have so many things open in my life. Sharing the screen of love. Play personalities. Hey, here's another book. Play by Stuart Brown. If you don't have that, maybe you should. So in Stuart Brown's book, Play, talks about the play personalities. So we are just going to quickly run through some of them. This will also be in SCED. This is coming in SCED. Some games that we played are going in SCED. Some of the resources are going in SCED. They'll get there. So the play personalities. What Stuart Brown put forth was that there are different ways that people will play. This comes from animals too. So there are maybe some people who did not come to this session because they are allergic to silliness. That's not how they play, and that's fine. That's super great for them. There are people who may be here and say, I can't play other ways. So think about what your play personality might be. We're going to have an in-chat discussion about some of these and ideas that ways of using the play personalities to enhance your own, your team, whatever sort of creativity you're hoping to build. What's an activity that might support that play personality that you can do? So the first play personality is the Joker. And the Joker, how they play is through silliness and making others laugh. They might be the class clown, but they're big, where they are enthused by play is through jokes and funny impersonations and playing practical jokes. So the Joker is play personality 1. So what are some activities that you might be able to do in order to engage or support somebody with a Joker play personality on your team and your family? What are some activities you might be able to put together? For example, something like an improv class might be something that a Joker might enjoy, or to offer improv-based activities where laughter is a part of it. Those are some things that you can do to bring up those play personalities. If you have somebody in your life or team who you're trying to support creative environment for them, a kinesthete is somebody who plays through movement. That is simply just, if you're trying to support a creative environment for a kinesthete, maybe have the walking meetings or the some sort of a dance. Yes, the run. Anything that you can insert movement as the part of playfulness, a kinesthete is going to respond to. So think about ways that you can infuse movement as the way to play, because somebody might be more responsive to, hey, I'm dancing, or I'm doing yoga, as opposed to, I don't feel like telling jokes. This is how I play. I play through movement. There may also be an explorer. How might you engage an explorer through play? They are those who are interested in exploring the world around them. That exploration can be physical, emotional, or mental. So it could be like, where does this path go? Or it might be, I'm going to think about and ruminate on this for a little while. So an explorer is really interested in going into new territories. So if you're looking to support a playful environment with an explorer, think about ways that they can go on a journey, or maybe it's an artistic excursion. What might this explorer be? Maybe you give them something to investigate, give them a long question and have them solve it. Think about ways that explorers can play. Competitive games, specific rules, thrill of winning. If you can gamify some sort of a task, that's going to engage their playfulness and support that playful creativity. So ways that you can put the escape rooms, for example, right? The specific rules, the thrill of winning, that's going to boost up the playful response in the competitor. The director engages in play through planning and executing. They're the organizers who like being in charge of something and making that thing happen. So for example, if you were doing the shiny new thing, the person who plays through director might be the person who puts that little skit and that little sort of pitch together. They might want to arrange that play, right? So that would be how a director would play, giving somebody an opportunity to put something together, plan an event. The collector, how you might get a collector to be more playful, seeking and gathering an interesting collection of objects or experiences. They may be alone or with others. So their play might be go find a whole bunch of images out there and make a collage on everything that represents rain or whatever that is. They might want to collect and to find things, or they might really have responded to the go find the thing in your house, and so they can go find I'm gonna have to go find all the pens in my house and bring them all back. So if there's ways that you can collect them, or if there's a series of other gamifications things you can do with the collector, a collector will respond to playfulness that way. The artist or creator, these are your makers. They are going to be not only the visual artists, the painty, the makey, the sculpties, but they're also going to be the engineering, the builders, the toaster taker aparters, any way that they're going to make something, chefs, whatever that is. The artist or creator, their playfulness will be by making something or taking something apart and putting it back together. So ways that you can support a creative environment is to speak to them through that ways, giving them activities that are work with that. And lastly, the storyteller, they play through imagination and stories. They enjoy being immersed in a story, their own or others. So they're either writing stories, telling stories, listening to stories, reading stories, watching stories, and experiencing the actors and the action and characters in those stories. So they really respond to stories. So storytelling's all the rage, right? With narratives, with organizations. That's your person to create the playful, supportive environment. So they're so playful and creative and engaged, and their storyteller playful personality is coming alive. So think about that when you're thinking about ways to support a playful environment within your family, your team, yourself. Think about ways to push those playful personalities. And other homework challenge, think about which one you are, think about which ones you aren't, and maybe assign yourself, if you want to have a playful environment for yourself, think about something to do each day or week that hits each one of those play personalities. So that'll be coming. Do we have it in the chat? It's in the chat. You can grab it in the chat, and it will be on Sked. So that's play personalities. Beth, I'm going to have you go back to the PowerPoint. We're going to scooch to the end, towards the end. Go to slide. Go to slide number 14, the improvisational mindset and skill set. So it's not really skipping ahead that much. All right, so we're not going to have time to go over this, which is fine. The other handout you're going to get is to live, work, and lead with an improvisational spirit. These are principles of improv, the thing that I do. And what you're going to get is a handout of a way of infusing those principles into your life, work, and play. And we'll talk a little bit about, even though tomorrow's is mostly play and not applied, we are going to reference some of this stuff too. So you will get a little notion of that. This is my jam. This is my happy place to teach about how improv connects to life, because improv is life. And now if you can go all the way to slide number 30, please. Those are all the things that you're going to get to read about the principles and what they mean. Foreshadowing. And you can think about what your strength is and what your challenge is. So, and one more. There it is. So, you've all been very playful. You've all been rainbow-infused space unicorns because you enjoy the playfulness. And so I want to thank you for that. Next slide, please. Remember this. Find something you really love doing and mix it with something you really care about. Connections. Chocolate peanut butter. And speaking of delicious treats, next slide, please. This is the last sip of the milkshake slide, and of course the font is off. But this is the last sip of the milkshake. So in the non-time that we have left, because it is 5:30, but time means nothing to an improviser and a half ideator, this is where the last delicious sip of the milkshake is. It's almost gone, but it's still there and it's still quite delicious. That's the section we're in right now. What are your thoughts or takeaways or ideas or feelings or words that come to mind that have happened or happened to you right now? It's reflection time. And it's just popcorn, speak 'em out. Or chat 'em ins. Typey bits. Thoughts, reflections, things you learned. Yes, Nicole.
It's the taste that goes on through your mouth.
Yes, yes. What else are you taking away from this session? What else are you what are some? Yes, Lindsay.
I really liked the concept of practicing collaboration. Like that there are different ways to use play to practice the things that you're trying to do that are not necessarily for the outcome. So I really love that concept, and that's giving me a lot to think about. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Play for play's sake is still a sake. Yes, Renee.
Fun expands creativity.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It does. Yes.
Hey, and it's Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Hi. I love the idea of telling serious businessy people that play in support of the goal is still valid and important to do, so that they can calm down and not think it's not useful, but rather see that it's literally advancing the play, advancing the improv, advancing their goal wish, right?
Absolutely. That's a heavy mindset we have to fight against, because that's been years and decades and centuries on us of the, if you're enjoying it, you're not working hard enough and you shouldn't be happy. And so we have to find ways that we can infuse both, but it's a heavy mindset to fight against. But if we all do it together, we can create a stronger group. So yes. Anyone else? Any other thoughts, ideas, feelings, questions?
But the mindset of fun doesn't depend on the quality of humor or jokes, or a bomb is just as fun as 100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's experimentation. It's just having that playfulness of what else and what might happen. And you can play in lots of different ways, and that play is, again, not like, I'm running away, tag me. It can be, but the playful mindset can also be lowercase, and again, it can just be, what else can this do? What might this do? And so it really is supporting that creative mindset that we're all and creative action that we're all hoping for. So you're going to get some, again, you're going in the sched, you will get the handout for the how to live, work, and play or lead with improvisational spirit. You'll get the play personalities, again, from Stuart Brown's book Play. I'll create a doc that gives you the we and me and the playful path Brittany to Coven. And if you come play with us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, you'll play more games. And if you have any questions about anything, you know how to contact me. I love talking about all this stuff. And so I'll meet you for coffee over the Zooms. That's all I have to say about that.
Jane, thank you so much. That was too much fun. It's a good session if you can cry. And Deb Williams loves pointing out every time I laugh till I cry, which is almost every time I'm in a Jane Fischer session.
Making a funny face now.
Making a funny face. This was awesome. Thank you so much. Go out and play. But before you do, don't forget, tomorrow we have online sketching soundscape scenarios. I pronounced that all correctly. Tending the Garden of Cross-Racial Friendships with Lindsay Burr. She's still on. What? Eavesdropping, Grow Your Problem-Solving Toolkit with Body Wisdom. And then, as promised, tomorrow night, medicinal silliness and doctor-approved shenanigans. Join us for all these fun things tomorrow at a Zoom near you.